Hello and welcome to AsyncAPI Conference 2022. My name is Anisat, Akinbani, and I will be talking about my onboarding experience as a new docs contributor to AsyncAPI. So, who is Anisat? Anisat is a front-end engineer, a technical writer, and an open source contributor. I basically transitioned into the world of technology about 2 years ago, like right after a year after my graduation. So I picked interest in the aspect of front end development, and I, you know, developed my skill along that line, um, picking up new technologies, learning, studying industrial chemistry in school, and then doing something entirely different from what you studied in school. So the learning curve was very steep at the beginning, like it was really slow at the beginning, but yeah, yeah, we are. Along the line, I also picked technical writing and as well as open source contribution. Um, if I'm not coding or writing technical articles or probably contributing to open source, I basically take walks to the beach or just walks in general, be it by myself or with my family or friends. Yeah, that's it. And a bit fun fact about myself is I love fries. I'm a big fan of fries, potato fries, Irish fries, whatever. So that's just a bit about Anisat. Um, Now, before I go right into the talk itself, I just want to give a quick backstory about my open source journey. Um, I first learned about the word open source from a very popular open source community event, which is Oscar. And yeah, the full meaning is Open Source Community Africa. It's a very popular open source conference that holds in Lagos, Nigeria. And that was like I attended that conference around about the time I kickstarted my tech career. So I attended with a lot of enthusiasm because as a techie, when you're especially when you're just even when you're not just starting your career, like as a techie in general, there's this whole excitement about going to conferences because most people see it as an opportunity to like learn, grow, network, meet new people, and all of that. So yes, like I said, I attended this conference with great enthusiasm and I learned a lot of things. I jotted down so many things and gathered a whole lot of tips on open source and um, what have you. Because the conference was basically a conference to like bring open source enthusiasts together and open source organizations together as well to preach the gospel of open source. To let people know more about open source. So the conference did well in achieving that because like I said earlier, that was the first place I learned about what open source was all about. But right after the doors of the conference, I felt overwhelmed because I just couldn't like put it into practice because at that time I had this notion that for you to be able to contribute to open source, you have to like contribute through code base. I did not know that there were other like means of contributing to open source. So all my thought was just to like contribute to the code base. So um fast forward to August 2020, where I read an article on Ashnode. The article was basically for beginners, and the author did well in like breaking down concepts of open source and also going ahead to like list and mention open source organizations you can contribute to without even contributing to the code base and and contribute and you can contribute as a technical writer through technical documentation. I was really excited because I felt, oh wow. So, and at that time, a month to that time I read the article, I just started writing. Like that was when I started picking up technical writing. So I felt it was an opportunity for me to like, you know, um, finally contribute to open source, but this time through technical documentation. I reached out to the author on Twitter via DM, and then the author being nice and friendly scheduled a one-on-one call with me to practically and she practically handheld me, I that was where I made my first quality open source contribution. She practically handheld me and did the do as I do approach. And that, I must say, really helped me in growing my interest more in wanting to contribute to open source, especially through technical documentation. So yes, that's a quick backstory about my open source journey. And now we go to interning with AsyncAPI, how it started. It started through through a tweet. Yeah, while I was scrolling through Twitter at that time, my awesome mentor Alejandra, she posted on Twitter that she was looking for about 6 mentors who would love to contribute to Async API documentation under the Google Season of Docs program. So I was super interested because I've always wanted to contribute to open source projects more through technical documentation and get into the Google Season of Docs program. So, upon making my research about Async API, I loved what Async API was all about and what it stood for, and the concept of event-driven architecture and all of that. So I felt it was a great opportunity for me to learn something entirely new from what I've been used to, which is front-end development. Moving from um, I'm not really moving entirely from what you're doing, but learning something new and learning a new concept that is applicable in the world of technology. Yeah, so I saw it as a great opportunity, learning about event-driven architecture and wanting to improve the documentation of the organization. So I did put in my application forward, and then yeah, the application process was all about each applicant, scheduling a one-on-one. I think, yeah, it was a Zoom call, a one-on-one Zoom call with my awesome mentor Alejandra, and then at your own flexible time. But she really made the process very, very flexible for everyone. So after the application, I I really did not want to put my mind to, oh, if I would be selected or not, because most times if I really want something and I I don't I and I'm not seeing myself either getting it or not getting it, I just don't want to put my mind to it, so I don't end up being sad or like, oh, I didn't get it. So but during the selection, I saw my name, I was super excited, and being able to get into a very competitive program of such nature, and also being selected, it was really it was a great opportunity for me, and which I did not want to take for granted. So I was super excited because I saw my name on the Slack community, that I was among those that was selected. Saw it on the Twitter page of the organization and other platforms. So it was a very, very exciting and surreal moment for me. And yeah, that's how it started. So, what onboarding help did I receive as a new docs contributor? So, the onboarding, they were like, I would just categorize the onboarding help into three sections, like I have it in my slide here. The onboarding help were awesome. The first one I would love to talk about is the one-on-one Zoom calls we had with Alejandra, and not just Alejandra. Yeah, I think Lucas at some point. Lucas, by the way, is another awesome mentor that works with us mentees during the program. Um, Alejandra actually scheduled a one-on-one Zoom call with the six of us to onboard us properly into the program, and what to expect and how the workflow will go and all of that. So Alejandra basically broke down like basic concepts of event-driven architectures in async API. Like, this helped me, like someone like myself who is just coming from front end engineering, something entirely different from what EDAs are all about. So she helps break down those concepts, like explaining things like producers, consumers, publishers, subscribers, and other concepts in EDA. So it was it was a very, very interesting one-on-one Zoom call with Alejandra. She also helped um, explain the tools that would be useful for workflow, like I said, and then collaboration and communication, and tools that we'll be using to contribute to the technical documentation. Another onboarding help I received from the community and AsyncAPI in general as a new docs contributor were articles. Like the mentors literally took their time to share helpful resources that will put you up to speed with learning the concepts on AsyncAPI and like event-driven architecture in general, because those articles actually helped me in improving my writing flow and helping in explaining the concept on technical writing tasks that I was assigned as a contributor, or let me say mentee. So yeah, those resources, those articles were really helpful, and that is that is another onboarding help I received. Next is the onboarding workshop. This workshop was conducted by Lucas. He did a great job. The workshop was split into four parts, and I must say, even up to this moment, the workshop helps me in writing, like because it literally did um showed us use cases of where async API can be, can be used, explained a lot of concepts, explained tools that the other tools that is built by the community, like the async API CLI, for example, and it showed us how async API Studio works and a couple of other things. And this were the wonderful resources, onboarding help I received as a new docs contributor that has helped me during the program, as a docs contributor. Yeah. So how do contributors get answers to their questions? Contribute as a contributor, as a mentee. Most times, whenever I feel blocked, I get answers for my questions through the community. Like the community is a very welcoming one, and this is the first place I always go to whenever I feel blocked about something I'm writing on or I do not understand. So, for example, let's say I'm working on the tools or a specification concepts, for example, and I don't understand, for example, let me say consumer, or what a consumer is, or what a broker is. It's the community is so accessible that you can get answer like in next few hours, right? Because there are people who are always willing to help you. Like you can just go onto one of the threads and type in your questions, and then you get answers to them. The the um the community is a really awesome one. Also, quick calls. Like there are times where I was literally blocked, and then I did not go through I did not type my question in the thread at this time. I wanted like an immediate help. And I reached out to Alejandra, and she helped me. Another case, there was a case of a technical issue I had with one of the tools we work with when contributing, like when writing our documentation. So at first it was running and then it was not running. But I had to like reach out to Lucas. Oh my God, I need to make a pull request. And then he helped me, get unblocked with what the issue could have been and why my tool was not working properly. So yes, these are ways contributors get answers to their questions. For me, I'm speaking from my perspective. I don't know about my fellow mentees, but I know that the mentors are always willing to help you get unblocked immediately. There's this bi-weekly meeting we also do with we mentees and and Alejandra. She helps us get unblocked on the call, like, and also like help us to get in sync so everyone can be like in sync with what we're working on. Help us to communicate like, okay, so what were you working on this week? It's just a great way to like help you not feel stuck about anything. So yeah, what do I love most about contributing to Async API? Um, the first one for me is mentorship. I love the fact that we have experienced mentors who we could easily run to whenever we face any issue or challenges. They are always willing to help, like they are always willing to answer your questions. Oh, hey, Anisat, what are you like working on right now? Do you have any issues? Do you have any problem? Oh no, it's fine. And if it's not fine, you can easily tell them, oh yes, I actually don't know how this is going on. But, like it's really awesome because whenever you're going through a journey and you have someone who can handhold you through the journey, it literally makes things easy, like very easy through that journey. There's no feeling of being overwhelmed and like having to like figure everything out on your own. You know for sure that you are definitely not alone. So having mentorship is one big thing in the world of technology, and this is one thing that AsyncAPI has been able to bless me, and I'm sure my fellow mentees with. And yeah, mentorship, that's one for me. Then two, the community. I think API community is really welcoming. If you're a new contributor or you don't even know anything about open source, or you've never contributed to open source before, you can come let the community show you how it's done. You can literally reach out to the community, and then there's definitely someone who would like help you and answer your questions, help you through your first pull request or more pull requests and other things. Like the community is really friendly and welcoming. That's one thing I love about the community. And everyone are so passionate about contributing. So yeah, another thing I love about contributing to Async API is because of conference participation. I'm someone who ordinarily like um do not take out time to like participate in conferences. I just do it once in a while, and but because Async API is something I love, I love the organization and I love what it stands for, and I love the fact that they give us all to like participate in the conference, and it's such a beautiful opportunity that I decided to like take and share my story about what it felt like, contributing to AsyncAPI. So here I am participating in an international conference, AsyncAPI organization conference. So yes, another thing I love about about contributing to AsyncAPI is due to the continuous learning. Like there's so many concepts to learn about, and I'm super excited about the things I've learned so far and the things I'm still learning. it's so fun. As a techie, learning new things is can be fun. So being able to like learn continuously is what I love about contributing to AsyncAPI. As someone who is more into coding front end, and then now having knowledge about what asynchronous APIs are all about, how you can document it, how you can generate your code from them, concepts like what providers, what producers are, consumers, and other concepts. And it's so interesting. Another thing I love about contributing to Async API is the fact that this has given me the opportunity to like give my quota to the community, like by sharing my knowledge, and then help improve the technical documentation of the organization. That's another beautiful thing I definitely did not had in my slide, but I just wanted to mention and share. Like it's so amazing, and I love the fact that AsyncAPI has given me this opportunity to be able to like help to improve the documentation alongside my fellow mentees. So yeah, these are the things I love most about contributing to AsyncAPI. So why can't you join us? Like AsyncAPI is a very, very friendly community, both beginner friendly, and even if you're an experienced contributor, you can come join the initiative. Yes, the website, you can visit the website to learn more about AsyncAPI and how you can use it in your event-driven architecture pattern. We also have the GitHub page. Here you can see a couple of tools and technologies that Async API has developed to be able to like help that are actually open source that can help you, like improve your um, organization team, company best practices, like defining company best practices as well through the async API validation and a couple of other things. So we also have the Slack channel. That's my favorite part. Like, come, ask your questions. You can follow AsyncAPI on Twitter, LinkedIn, and AsyncAPI also has a YouTube channel where they like. For me, it's a resource bank for so many things about AsyncAPI and event-driven architecture. You can learn about it, join the community calls, and yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thanks for listening to my talk. You can send me a DM on Twitter at Anisat Akinbani. I'll be willing to accept your questions. Thank you for listening. Bye.